Good day, Doc. We are here to present our research together with my co-researchers, Diana Elizabeth Buquid and Jessica Torres. To begin with, our research title is Direct Corrective Feedback and Grammatical Competence of Grade 9 Students. Receiving feedback is an important aspect of the learning process that every student must go through. It is an effective strategy for improving performance and consists of multiple characteristics. On a global scale, there are some situations worldwide where students have a problem in developing their grammatical competence, and it also affects teachers in checking their work so that some teachers give them feedback about their work. In the Philippines, a study conducted by Alamis 2015 about the corrective feedback at the University of Santo Tomas reveals that 76% of UST students read their teacher's remark in order to become aware in areas they excel where they need to develop. So this is the conceptual framework. So it illustrates the conceptual paradigm of this study, indicating the independent variable, dependent variable, and output model that portrays of all the variables that comprise a process. So the independent variable of the research framework, as illustrated, shows the respondent scores before and after utilizing corrective feedback in grammar in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling. So the dependent variable of the research framework, as illustrated, shows the grammatical competence of grade 9 students in Bacungan High School. So the process shows the data gathering, which consists of the methodologies, mostly through the use of pre-test, post-test, and Wilcoxon-signed rank test. So it includes pre-test that was used in the control group of respondents. The student was given a pre-test for those groups at the start of the procedure, and the test scores was administered. Following the treatment of the experiment class, a post-test was administered to the students to see whether the direct corrective feedback had any influence on the students' grammatical competence. Also, researchers utilized the Wilcoxon-signed rank test as a statistical test of the difference between a set of paired samples. So it examines the means of two groups to see if there is statistically significant difference between them. For the output, this includes the action that was taken after interpreting the result of the study. So the researchers provided quick guide on corrective feedback mechanism, which contains learning activities to measure and enhance the grammatical competence of the students.
In our statement of the problem, it was structured around the four guided questions. The first one is, what is the pretest performance on grammar of the students in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling? Number 2, what is the post-test performance on grammar of the students in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling? The third one is there a difference between the scores of the students before and after receiving direct corrected feedback? And last one is, what output may be proposed to improve grammatical competence of the students? For our research design, the quasi-experimental research design was used in gathering the data required for this study. As responders, one section was required. In determining if the presence of direct corrective feedback affects students' grammatical competency, this study used pre-test and post-test. According to Maraden and Torgerson 2015, to clarify, researchers may determine clearer findings about the causal relationship between two variables using quasi-experimental designs. A total population sampling method was employed to select the respondents of this study. A simple random sample, according to Thomas 2020, is a part of the population selected at random. With this sampling technique, all the members of the population in a certain group will be the respondents of the study. The respondents of this study were the 44 grade 9 students of Bacungan High School enrolled in the academic year 2023 to 2024. The sample size came from the total population of 44 students from the target sections, 29 females and 15 males.
So for our statistical tools, this study used Wilcoxon signed rank test for test of difference of the pre and post-test results of students who have received feedback and error correction in their learning process. Similarly, Wilcoxon signed rank test was employed to differentiate students' pre- and post-test results without any kind of feedback or error correction throughout the learning process.
This table presents the pre-writing scores of students in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling prior to giving direct corrective feedback, revealing an overall mean of 5.44 for subject-verb agreement, 5.52 for sentence structure, and 5.56 for spelling, which are interpreted as satisfactory. Scaling adapted from the study conducted by Atas and Chonko 2022, titled Utilization of Vocabulary Aid in Improving the Vocabulary Skills in Science of grade 10 students. So, the pretest score suggests that the students have a satisfactory level of proficiency in subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling. So, the scores are clustered around the midpoint of the satisfactory range, indicating that the students have a good foundation in these areas but may require further development to achieve excellence.
This table presents the writing test scores of students in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling prior to giving direct corrective feedback, revealing an overall mean of 7 for the subject-verb agreement, 7.5 for the sentence structure, and 7.68 for spelling, which are interpreted as very satisfactory. The result of writing test suggests that direct corrective feedback have a significant impact on grammatical competence of students, namely subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling. This implies that the student have a very satisfactory level of grammatical competence, but there is still room for improvement.
This table presents the post-test scores of students in terms of subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling prior to giving direct corrective feedback, revealing an overall mean of 8.5 for subject-verb agreement, 8.75 for sentence structure, and 9.11 for spelling, which are interpreted as excellent. So the post-test scores suggest that the direct corrective feedback had a significant impact on the student's grammatical competence, particularly in subject-verb agreement, sentence structure, and spelling. This finding supports the idea that direct corrective feedback is an effective instructional strategy for improving students' grammatical competence. This table illustrates the paired samples t-tests that indicate a significant difference between the scores of students before and after receiving direct corrective feedback. Specifically, the test reveals a significant improvement in students' grammatical competence, as evidenced by the significant t-values negative 35.049 and negative 23.38, and p-values for both the pre-writing to writing and writing to post-writing comparisons, respectively. The findings suggest that direct corrective feedback has a positive impact on students' grammatical competence, leading to significant improvements in their writing skills. All of these have consistently demonstrated that direct corrective feedback plays a crucial role and have a positive impact in increasing students' awareness and knowledge about grammatical competence. For the output, this includes the action that will be taken after interpreting the result of the study. The researchers provided a quick guide on corrective feedback mechanism, which contains different learning activities to measure and enhance the grammatical competence of the students, particularly in subject-verb agreement, spelling, and sentence structure. We have here sample activities under each indicator, and we have also provided brief discussions and examples for each. For all the activities, we prepared answer keys with direct corrective feedback. And that concludes our output for our research study. Thank you and God bless.